Party people, what's going on? This is David Marsh. I'm the founder of BlueDeathValley.com, the website that's devoted to relentless coverage of A&T football. I want to welcome you guys back to another special edition of Inside the Valley. Oh, man, of course, I can't do it by myself. I got my tried and trusted two co-hosts here to help me out. First up, former A&T wide receiver, and do not forget, he is a native of Greensboro, North Carolina. My main man, Dougie Fresh Brown. What's going on, Douglas?
Hey, what's up, guys? Aggie Pride, back at it. Another year, man. Gosh, that was a quick little summer. Year four, right?
Is this year 4? Jeez, we get old.
Yeah. Hey, we getting better. Getting old, but getting better, right?
Yeah, like fine wine. And of course, the man in the middle always speaks facts, is not talking riddles. Longtime A&T insider, beat writer on BlueDeathValley.com for over 2 decades. And of course, he just recently got reinstalled as the president of the Greensboro chapter of the AAF. The one and only Craig Turner. What's going on, CT?
CT.
Hey, Aggie Pride. What's up, guys? Oh, man, this has slipped up on me. I'm going to tell you the truth. I've been so busy, but this football season has really slipped up on me, but I'm glad to see it's only a couple of weeks away, and I got a good feeling about things this year.
Man, listen,
good feeling.
I've been able to sneak around campus. I've been, in a certain disguise, so I can't be seen by the staff and the football operations people. But I've been kind of sneaking a peek, man, and I'm telling you, there's a different vibe, man. I know everybody's optimistic this time of year, but we got a lot of new faces, some new blood, right? Some new coaches, right? We got new players, also got some new coaches. And I'm telling you, man, it's a different feel over there on the corner of Lindsay and Sullivan. And so, tonight we got a big show for you guys tonight. A lot of special guests. We're going to try to do a full fall camp recap. As much as we know, we're going to share with you. Also, we just updated the website a little bit. We're going to have some articles coming in there next couple of days, couple of weeks. But our guy, Dr. Michael Simmons, he hit us up with an early installment of some fall camp photos. We got a new photo gallery up showing some of the guys working hard, get ready for the season. But originally we was just going to spend like the first part of the show pontificating on what we thought that this season was about to bring. Give our own insight, right? But we decided, forget all that. We can talk all we want to our heads turn blue. Let's get somebody who's actually in the mix, who knows what's happening and who's making things happen. More importantly, so we reached out, and for the first time in the Valley, we want to bring in our new offensive coordinator. My namesake, I think he's a distant cousin. My man, Coach David Marsh. We bring him in here. Coach Marsh, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Oh, we had him, and then something happened. And you start clapping. We'll
He's working on his pump fakes.
Yeah. You know what? That's going to be his mantra. He's going to keep people on their toes, man. When you think you're going left, he's going to go right. That's
you
right.
Guys got me? There we are.
We got you, Coach. Hey, listen, we are so.
There he is.
There he is. So look, we're so excited about this football season. We're a bunch of geeks out here, just troublemakers. We've been doing this for about 20 years, and we get super crazy fanatical about A&T football. So we want to welcome you into our on our podcast, into our little world. And first of all, you were recently at Texas Southern, and I'm a Houston guy. So my mom, here's a small little connection. My mom was a law professor at Texas Southern for several years. So I know all about that Scott Street, and we know we did some big things down there in Texas Southern. Let me ask you this: when you found out this job was open, right, and you looked at it and said, oh well, okay, let me check out A&T. This might be an opportunity for me. And you saw we were dead last in passing offense. What was your reaction, and why did you think you still wanted to take on this endeavor?
Well, first of all, Houston might be one of our connections, but as you pointed out, for the fan base, I'm actually just a little disappointed that my second cousin, third removed from my mom's side, still hasn't invited me over for a plate on Sunday.
Oh, let's go.
So I'm a little disappointed in that one so far. But you open yourself up for that one by bringing out our family heritage right there.
Hey,
No, but actually, it's one of those weird things, journey life, whatever, without going too deep into it. I was stationed here in the service. I coached at another school a little ways away. And so somehow North Carolina has part of my life. So it was that, but also just the history and the heritage of this school, football wise, and the pride of Aggieland, just the whole namesake that goes with it. So it was just one of those things when I heard about it, and I didn't even hear about it like right away, just with the changes and trying to take care of our kids back there with the changes there. And so it was an opportunity kind of to come home, where most people go away and they think of their alma mater as where they grew up. Well, my service was here. So to me, I grew up here in North Carolina. So it was an opportunity to come home. And then I'm also a big person in relationships. So I wanted to make sure I was comfortable with the people I was going to work with, because it's the same thing, not getting detailed with recruiting, but it's the same thing with recruiting with young people and just like U3 and just like our fan base is, you have to go away to school and you have to live there. So it's not always just about football. It's not just about this. Is you have to live there. And so to me, learning about Greensboro, and then about whatever it is, 6 months on the job, 7 months on the job, it's one of the best decisions I've ever made. This place is unbelievable. I was very fortunate. I met Coach Hayes earlier today. So I got to spend some time and get to know him and learn even more about the history and the heritage and stuff like that. So it was really special to have you guys invite me earlier this week, meet Coach, and then get on here today. So it's just been, I wish I had time before this gets over to get over to the gas station, maybe get some lotto tickets, because I'm kind of feeling my luck today. And I might have to roll the threes tonight with that one being the third one of the week.
Yes,
No, it was just one of those things that it's in his hands, and I'm following that path, and it worked out, and it's been a blessing. And this offensive staff, not taking away from the other side of the ball, but I work hand in hand with this offensive staff all the time, and it's really fun because they're just a bunch of ball junkies that care about kids. So, and that's at the end of the day what we're still in this for, is about these young people that we work with and football. So it's been really fun to be here, and then just getting to know this area and finding some places to eat, which anybody that's out there in the chat right now, I'm going to be screenshotting the chat. So make sure you guys are telling me where to get a plate, since my cousin won't invite me over.
Hey, it's coming. You don't have to worry about that. Hey, so Coach Marsh, so the guy in the bottom right-hand corner, Doug Brown, he's a legendary A&T wide receiver. He played on the gridiron, and he had a question about the quarterback. So Doug, you wanted to talk to him about the quarterback battle camp, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Coach. So we know you have coached some talented quarterbacks throughout your coaching career. Most recently, Mr. Booty down at Texas A&M, who's now at Alabama A&M. Talk to us about the skill sets that you look for in the guys that you coach, and more specifically, the skill sets in the guys in the quarterback room that you have right now, and how your talents are going to try to bring out some of the best of their talents.
I'd like to say my greatest asset is not being stuck on just doing one thing. I want to play to the strengths of getting our best 11 players on the field as much as possible, and then getting the 12th, 13th, 14th guy on the field. That if I don't want to line up in the wishbone, if our three running backs aren't the best three running backs in the league, but if we have the three best running backs in the league, why don't we get into some wishbone stuff or something along those lines? But with that correlates to the quarterback, is I want to always have volume enough to adapt to what their strengths are, and then try to do as much as we can to hide their weaknesses. No matter what level you play, you're always going to have to do some of the stuff that you're not very good at, just because of the way the game's played. But the biggest thing is we're always trying to find guys that are going to be athletic enough to overcome bad plays and use their legs to get out of it. Doesn't mean we need a running quarterback. But at the same time, my first year here coaching in North Carolina, our quarterback led the nation in rushing most of the year as a quarterback. and finished, I think, second overall. So we have done it with running quarterbacks. We've done it with passing quarterbacks where we throw for several thousand yards. So we try. The greatest thing that we're always going to try to do is adapt around our personnel and kind of remold the offense, not rebuild it, but remold it every year to adapt to what they do best. Quick game, play action, checking plays, pro style play action stuff, whatever it is, we want to be able to adapt to their strengths.
And Coach, I know you. I mean, when you took over this job, you looked at the roster, and you also did some recruiting. You had your hands on recruiting also. But right now, from what I've seen, the few days I've been able to stop by camp, this quarterback room is stacked, man. You got a wildly sage veteran in Justin Fomby from our place in Houston. He came from Houston Christian, and then you had the incumbent guy here, sophomore Kevin White Jr. Then you guys brought in a big time transfer, Noah Sanders from Delaware, and I'll tell you, maybe one of the surprises of camps has been Braxton Thomas, the true freshman from Florida, who looks like he's about 25 years old, like he's been here before, and the way he's been picking up things, and I know he was getting second team reps a couple of days ago. Then you have some walk-ons. With so many talented guys, and each of them have their own little skill set. How do you keep everybody happy? There's only one football. I mean, that's a good problem to have, but how do you manage all that?
I guess that's why they still call us coach. And I know that's overly simplified, but it comes with the territory. It's something that we try to take pride in. I know everybody looks at it and you see a lot of the Power 5 money and some of the stuff that floats around in major college athletics now. But it's still the questions that you have to have at the FCS level. And really, I hope you have it at every level. And I think Coach Hayes said this earlier today of never cheat the game. Otherwise, bad stuff is karma, whatever it is going to get you. So I'm a big believer in that
Coach Hayes.
Yep. I've always believed in respecting the game. Is to me the best guy's going to play. Sometimes that's two guys because they're equal, and we have to find out in live bullet situation who the best player is. But it's also having the honest conversations with them. Not having the discussion period, but also as much as I don't think a lot of people do it anymore, I'm going to rip the Band-Aid off when it comes to the conversation. We're going to be honest about it, not demeaning or any of that old school way of doing things, but we are going to have a discussion and everybody's going to know where they are. But the biggest thing is I want to put them in situations that aren't also easy. I want them to grow in the areas that they're not very strong in. So if this is your greatest strength, I'm not going to always just put you in that situation. I'm going to try to put you in the situation of things you need to develop, and then vice versa with the next guy. So we're always going to talk about those scenarios and work through those and try to have the open and honest conversations. I'm also a believer in I'm the coach everybody that's in my room. So if we are willing to bring you to the team and make you part of our family, you're going to get coached. You're not just going to be there to be there. You're going to get coached. We're going to try to get you reps. Reps do not always equal out evenly, but the better you do in certain areas, you are going to get more and you're going to earn more, or you might earn less, but you're going to know where you are. But it's a great room, full of personality, definitely full of personality, and they're all different, but they all get along. So that's always fun. And then they're just a bunch of, it's fun because they're all, for the most part, football junkies, not just X's and O's, but we had a great conversation yesterday of kind of listing famous quarterbacks and going through who they admire, because then it also sees who they're trying to tailor the game after. So it's been fun, but it's been definitely a great battle, and we got another week and a half of it. And then that Thursday night, everybody gets to find out who's going to win and who won and that stuff. But got to use some of that top secret espionage type stuff for that first game, and try to keep it as much on the low as possible. And take
you hear that, Samaj?
Listen. He's an old military guy, so I'm sure that my truth serum tactics are not going to work on him. He's used to espionage and counterintelligence. So I'm not going to try too hard. I'm a football nerd, so I like to ask crazy questions. First of all, I know you have a very unique background. You went to the military, you got your degree in the military. After that, I believe you kind of did an unconventional route. You went to high school football.
Yep.
You started doing like some GA stuff, and you ended
Yep.
up with some heavyweights. You ended up at UCLA.
Yep.
You coached under Keith Sumlin, and I love Keith Sumlin. As being a Houston guy, I love Kevin Sumlin.
Yep.
Kevin Sumlin at Texas A&M. Do you have like a football, I guess, lineage? Like, are you from a certain branch of coaches that you kind of got your philosophy from?
I try to take from everybody that I've ever engaged with. Not a lot of people know this. This is going back 25 years almost. The first job I was ever offered, I was still in high school, and I was offered a high school job by our rival high school before I even graduated from high school. And then the first experience with like trying to get into coaching, I met Dirk Cutter, who at the time was the Arizona State head coach. And he was very, very welcoming to me and brought me into ASU, not to work, but like to kind of help me out and guide me into that sense. And then, of course, because it was a bad time, and it still is, of 9/11 happened and ended up going into the service. But other than that, Coach Mora's tree, I had a really, really good group of coaches that were more NFL guys, players, and coaches that have almost gone back to the NFL. And then Coach Kevin Sumlin and his group that I've been under, and then offensively under Coach Mazzoni and a group of guys that I'm with him. So I kind of always try to learn from the guys that I'm around, and then you meet this guy or that guy and you can learn from them. But I'm a big proponent of learning from anybody that's willing to talk. I'm adaptable to of it, and I like adapting around, like I said, around our best players to make sure whatever we're doing, it's based off our best players. So without giving what we're doing this year, you look at some of my time in high school, we were I formation. Some of my time was running option. Same thing in college. We were running option stuff, tempo stuff, not tempo stuff, spread stuff. Like a lot of what we're going to do is based off of what we're really good at. And I think we're getting to that point with where the guys are with what we're running right now, and adapting to what they do really well and maximizing that. I think we have a really good plan in place, and the kids are really picking it up and trying to build some depth with some of the new guys that you guys were talking about, not just in my room, but some of the other positions. And pretty excited about where we're going.
Yeah. Hey, Craig, you want to jump in? You got any questions for Coach Marsh while he's here?
Yeah, Coach. A lot of being that our passing game was subpar last year, and I'm putting it nicely. The receiving core, we lost Tamon Cook, and who was really our main guy last year. Jakari Caldwell is back. Monte Jones is back. How does that receiving core look? It's going to be a real young group, is it not?
Yeah, it's going to be a younger group mixed in with some older guys, some guys that'll be back, some guys that have moved up the depth chart just with age and maturity, that the way it kind of you hope to build your program around high schools and then grow your own talent and develop them. And we have a few of those guys that have really come on. But Kari's had a great fall camp. Amonte's had a great camp. Some other young guys have, without trying to give too much away. But yes, the room is growing up a lot, even from spring to now. The room is really growing up a lot, and I think they've really done a good job challenging. And it's a great DB room, especially the corner room. It's a battle every day out there. So it's been fun to watch them go back and forth and really grow. We had a young man, and he knows who he is. That is standout day today, and looked about as good as I've seen in a long time. And I'm hoping that translates, and I believe it will, to the field in this fall. And hopefully some honors for him in this team as far as what he's able to put on the field. But no, we've had a lot of guys really, really take giant strides, not just steps forward, but I think a lot of guys have taken giant strides and have collectively put together a great fall camp so far.
And Coach, I don't want to, give away my secret, but like I said, I have been a secret observer at some of your practices. And the thing that kind of I initially took away from it was two things, actually. This tempo, the speed, and not just, running no huddle. Everybody can do that, but just the amount of things you got done in a 2-hour practice period. Just everyone knew where they needed to go. Nobody was lollygagging. And it was almost in unison, almost like like a herd. Just animals, they just always know where to take off, and every ounce of that practice field was always occupied doing something, right? And also so it was real organized, and like I say, this the pace of it. Like, man, I was trying to write some notes down. Y'all already doing another team drill or something, right? Yep. And then the second thing was communication, and it wasn't just you barking out orders. It was players coming off the field, off a rep, communicating with one another. Yep. Justin Formby, if you want to, paint a picture of a college, like a franchise quarterback. Yeah, I'm not saying he's going to be a starter. I'm not trying to give anything away, but he just has that presence where he's the older guy in the room, and you can see his leadership abilities just up close and personal. And he's talking. Guys are, making sure you got the right assignment. I heard somebody say, man, you got to get in your playbook. You missed that thing. You got to get in your playbook. I've never heard that much positive chatter, this eavesdropping. So is that something that you're aware of, and that it's something that you try?
Oh, yeah. We talk about it quite a bit. Not just myself, not just the offensive staff, but the full staff. And it's good because it shows you the growth and the direction of where the program's going. And where the team's at collectively, because you see it when we're in some of the stuff that you're talking about in our transitions from one drill to the next, or when we're going to special teams where both offense and defense are next to each other or crossing each other, as you said in that herd statement, is you hear each other, corners asking DB or wide receivers questions, vice versa, about this technique or that. And so it's really fun because not only are they being super competitive and not combative with each other between the whistles, they're also talking about it afterwards. But for us offensively, thought process and what we do, we always preach, and it's funny because you never know how much people take from you when you're in this profession, as you were asking about my coaching tree, is I'm a big proponent and don't use 6 words when 3 will do, and don't use 3 words when 1 will do in everything we do. So everything we do, we're trying to streamline so they can communicate in as few words as possible, but we got to get everybody to use the same word so we all know what's going on. And so it's everything we do is preached on that. And so whether it's a concept, a route, a signal, this, that, or the other, everything's 1 word, maybe 2 at most. So we can get it done quicker, but also everybody knows exactly what we're talking about. But also within what we're doing, we do a lot of big brother, little brother program stuff with older players taking on younger players to kind of guide it when they're in the same position. But we also preach as an offensive staff, as soon as the series of plays or whatever it is, they are supposed to communicate with each other before they communicate with the coaches. What did you see? What did you do? Why did you do this? Why did you do that? We were running this, not that, which is probably where where the comment of getting your playbook came from. It was probably an older brother telling the younger brother, hey, dude, we went over this. It was installed 2 days ago. Like, come on. And
that's the culture. That's because right now, you don't want to be the guy who's the class dunce. That's not cool. Because you're going to get left behind. It's so many position battles. And also that tone is set like, this is the way we're going to do it. This is how things are going to get done.
Yep.
So,
and it's fun. And as a coach, those are the things that you get excited about because you see the growth from it. And it's not just having to be coach led or pushed or whatever. But I think that's the history and the heritage of this program is there's been a lot of winning here. There's a lot of community involvement, fan involvement, alumni involvement. And so I think the standard is something that is known by the young people that are in our program, and they are working to it. So it's a beautiful thing to watch. It is weird as that sounds, it is. Like, as a coach, those are the things that you look for, and it's fun to watch our young people do that.
And I got a quick, Doug, I'll throw it to you real quick, but I got a quick football nerd question. So when you got here, you know, we had I call him Rapping Ron Mattis, our big offensive line coach.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And he's been successful every stop he's been at, and he's kind of built a powerhouse with the offensive line. And, you know, he just reloads. So when you come in with your system, I know you're adaptable, but do you say, you know, coach, you know, whatever you've been doing, I can incorporate that, or you say, coach, I need you to understand, I want my blocking schemes to be like this. How does that mesh when you bring a system to a existing position coach?
It's a give and take. And the crazy part is I've had to do it at every stop I've had. And I've also coached the O-line when I was at UCLA. For a time when our O-line coach wasn't with us. So I've had experience in the room, so I can have those conversations with them. Ironically enough, from the day we met, we both have a certain viewpoint on some of the O-line techniques and schemes, I guess you could say, that are almost identical. And so when you can hit it right off the bat with some of the base stuff, seeing it exactly the same way, it makes the rest of the difficult conversations of like, I want it this way, I want it that way type thing. But it's a give and take. And to me and I think this comes down to kind of leadership within still being a team player of there is going to be blame on whoever has the marker last, AKA the coordinators. And rightfully so. It comes with a title. It's also like I talk to the quarterbacks about all the time. You're going to get all the praise and all the blame. So it's we hit it off the bat, but it's also we're going to have discussions of playing to the strengths. And if his strengths is teaching this way, I want him to be able to teach to his strengths. So I want to teach it that way, and I'll adapt. But it's the same for every position. Coach Poole, Coach Bankins, Coach Barnett, our new tight ends coach. We are going to adapt to their strengths because, and I don't even know where I got this years ago, and tying it back in real quick before we go to Dougie Brown is I want my guys as a staff, and I hate using that word, but I want our guys as an offensive staff to bring whatever they know the best to our group. Because if we can teach it better than somebody else, then teaching something we might not be as good at teaching at. Why are we teaching something average to subpar when we have a tool that we can teach really great? And I'd rather teach everybody's really great compared to everything that's average. That way we can get our kids in the best perfection, because what we also talk about as an offense, and I've talked about this everywhere I've been, is I want you to aim for perfection so you fall to greatness. There's no point in just chasing great, because then you're only falling to good. So you might as well chase perfection, but know that it's within the realm of our young people of the mental health thing, know that it's not possible. So that way the only thing left is great. And that's our goal as an offense, is always aiming for perfection. And then talking through when something goes wrong, not having an emotional outburst about it, but just talking through, all right, what did we do wrong here? He's been fantastic. And we go round and round. We're both hard-headed football coaches. I normally make sure I'm on the other side of the table when I want to go round and round with him about something, because he is a large human being. He's a big guy. But he's a great man too, and he's fun to watch with the kids. So he is a very, very special ball coach, but an even better man.
All right, Doug, you want to jump in?
Yeah, I was just going to say, Coach, we were really impressed with your presentation. I guess when you first showed up in February and spoke about the recruits, you seem to have a vast knowledge about those guys and kind of where we stood as a program. And even though you'd only been here just a few days or a few weeks, it's been a fast 6 months. But tell us, what has been probably your biggest challenge or something that has been an obstacle for you since your time here in Aggie Land?
Okay, I'm glad you specified that very last statement, because I was about to give you an off-the-wall statement.
I want both of them. Yes.
Okay. Where I live, I don't know how this has happened, but every gate in my complex has been broken either all at the same time or like at least one at a time has been rebroken. And so I'm having to learn new ways to get to and from work because I'm having to go out different gates all the dang time. So that's probably been the most unique thing I've had to adapt to, that I've actually just started riding my bike to work because I can go right out the back exit.
Wow.
But no, it's been fun, but it's probably and I know that's I don't even know how to word this right. And again, there's the enlisted Marine in me. Not that smart. But it's the pride. It really is. And I was trying to find another word to use, but it really is, plain and simple, Aggie pride. It is. I'll be out in town, and I normally don't like go out in the house much or whatever. And it's really fun to see how involved the community is with the school. And it can be anybody. It can be alums. It can be just random people. It could be people working in random jobs in the area. I could be out to lunch and they might know who I am and they'll come over and say hi. I've met a couple guys when I've been just out to eat a couple times at lunch in the area. A couple alums from the 60s and 70s that would just end up sitting with me for lunch. And not knowing what I did for the school, but just knowing that I had the hat on or the shirt on, and they'd sit down and we'd start talking. Just the pride in our community, from the alums to just the locals. The locals are even proud, and it's kind of like how I have the pride of North Carolina, considering how many years I've spent here. So it's a really, really fun thing to see for how big our school is, how nationwide and worldwide our school is, but still have that kind of small town family atmosphere to it.
Right. And then you coached at Campbell, and you like I said, you were at Texas Southern for 4 years before this. And trust me, Texas Southern is a great school. Campbell's pretty sure a good school. Well, if this thing at A&T gets rolling, if you guys can get in here and get this thing rolling, hey Craig, paint a picture of what it's going to be like for Coach Marsh and this new staff here. If we can, get some momentum. Shock the world a little bit. Just tell him, because Craig's seeing all. He was one of the first season ticket holders at Aggie Stadium, which is now Truist Stadium. So Craig, paint a picture to Coach Marsh what he's getting into if A&T football is really back.
It is electric. It is beyond. It's people talk about the Ohio States and the Alabamas and all that, and they got great fan bases, but there's nothing like an A&T fan base that's been energized. It is a madhouse. It is a true madhouse. You will not. You guys get this thing rolling this year. You will not be able to walk out your front door without somebody, coming up and just introducing themselves to you and patting you on the back and letting you know they're. A&T fans are extremely passionate, and they appreciate a winner, but they love championships around here. So you'll get to see that early on. Your first home game against Winston-Salem State. Take a few minutes during warm-ups and just take it all in, because it's gonna be on. It's gonna be on. That game is gonna be huge.
Yep. I already know what's coming. I've been warned. I've been warned by everybody and their cousin about it. I'm excited about it to be a part of it. There's nothing like. I know there's nothing like GHO and there's nothing like Aggieland, but that's my favorite part of my life / career, that I get to sit back and watch. Like, we're all college football nerds, like, just plain and simple. The fact that I get to be there and be a part of it is one of the most special things. And growing up watching college football, there's nothing better than our traditions that we have in this sport. And I can't wait to learn and be a part of the new ones here in Aggieland, because I know we have some great ones, and hopefully when we get this thing rolling, when we get this thing rolling again here in a few weeks, we can ride out and we can take our show on the road all over this East Coast that we're going to be up and down. And I know most of our games are only a couple hour drive from each other, so it's going to be pretty special this fall.
And Coach, you got to understand, we were 1-10 last year, and when I tell you we had the worst passing offense in the country, that's not exaggeration. Like, we were getting, like, some games 18 yards passing, right? But to Ashley Corinne, to our fan base's credit, we were 1-10 last year, and then this year we sold out homecoming in like 12 hours, right?
Yep.
And we're on the verge of selling out that Winston-Salem State game, and it's all about just the optimism, that hope springs eternal. And then also guys like yourself and Coach Jay-Z, we got this fresh infusion of young coaching stalwarts who gives us that confidence that these guys are working hard. They're going to do everything to turn it over. And Coach Brown, he's such a it's one thing about Coach Brown. Maybe you can give me some insight on this. It seems like he wants to be a CEO, right? Like he wants to delegate. Because I know when I talked to Coach Jay-Z earlier, he said that basically the defense that we run is Coach Jay-Z's kind of like his little Frankenstein monster that he put together. So when you got here, did Coach Brown say, I definitely want to do this and that? Or did he say, look here, I trust your resume, take over, just be successful? How did Coach Brown kind of handle that?
For me, it all started, like I said, relationships. We started by getting to know each other. He wanted to know my philosophy. And one of the things most people want to knock is because I've been around the air raid tree for so long, they think air raid, throwing the ball all over the place. I don't think I've ever been out of the top 3 in rushing in any year I've been an offensive coordinator in our conference. So, like, for me, thank goodness. Otherwise, I think Coach Mattis would be breaking that table. No, we like, I'm a believer in running the ball. And then Coach Brown believes in running the ball. And then he is a big proponent of open dialogue with that stuff. He's going to give you his input. But he's also going to let you run your side and be the head coach of your position, head coach of your side of the ball, head coach of this phase or head coach of that phase. And he's going to treat you like that. And then he's going to bring it or demand it, in which every CEO or manager or leader should, is hire people that you want to run something and then let them do it and then hold them accountable to what they need to get done. If not, you need to do what's going on. But it's a fun organization. And I like having a defensive guy. Like my old head coach at TSU, Clarence, I was with him at Texas A&M. We see football very similar. We can speak it very quickly to each other. But it's also fun having a defensive-minded guy because he's going to ask questions of, well, why were you looking at it this way? Why? Because he sees the game differently. Like, for an example, from a coach's point of view, he came in my office today to talk about something that he knows that was similar to what we were already doing, asked me about a variation like it. But the funny part is you can see we're different because he draws upside down. I don't know if most of you know this, but defensive guys draw this way going down. We draw this way going up.
Wow.
And so I always just mess with defensive guys when they want to draw on an offensive board when they draw upside down. Like, so it's no, but he is definitely involved, but not in the micromanaged sense. He does a great job of giving us our freedom to get our stuff done, but pointing out stuff of, hey, this could be an issue, that could be an issue. Think about this, think about that, which is, to me, I always want. Like, I want input from superiors. Again, like you pointed out earlier, I have a military background. I expect it and want it. So it's really fun, and it's the same thing when I got to hear Coach earlier today talking to us, bringing back some of his memories from that school down the road that we played the second week, and his time with us, and really building a lot of the traditions that we're trying to uphold.
Gotcha. So, Coach, I can have you here all night. We got to talk about some family members now, but I can't because I promised Brian Holloway that I'll keep you here for like 20 minutes. And he knows 20 minutes means 35 minutes. But, but
golden.
Listen, I am a football nerd. I want to talk about quarterback mechanics. I want to talk about arm slots. So let's do this. I know you're busy. You're putting that secret sauce together to upset Wake Forest in a couple weeks here. So let's do this. Let's table this conversation and let's maybe find a way, maybe in a bye week, you can come back in here and we can forget about the, where you come from. I want to talk about X and O stuff. Not giving away none of the Queen's secret, but I just want to pick your brain because I don't get a chance to talk high-level football stuff with too many people, So this is like me, a kid in the candy store. And you guys, if you guys remember, Craig and Doug, at our season-ending show last year, we did a Christmas list, right? You know, we did the things that we want for our Christmas. And what was my Christmas wish list? I said I wanted the quarterback guru, right?
You did.
And I think from this ear hustling at practice and eavesdropping, I believe Coach Marsh is that quarterback guru that came straight from Santa, because he's saying the same like when you pull, well, who was it? It was Braxton. When you pull Braxton, I'm not gonna say relay the conversation, but you know, when you pull Braxton to the side and you coached him up on something, I was like, that's what I coached my 17-year-old up on, the same thing. And so me and you, I want to talk about, you know, are you familiar with Darren Slack? You know Darren Slack, right?
Oh yeah. Okay,
so I'm a Darren Slack kid, so that's kind of my philosophy. So see, we're gonna talk about a lot of stuff. So let's put this pin this, and let's find another day we can come back and talk a lot more in depth. Yeah. But I'm super excited. Doug, you got anything else you want to ask Coach Marsh before we leave?
Hey, no, we just want to let you know we got your back, Coach. We camping with you, man. I got on my bucket and my standard issue shirt, man. So we grinding with you. We look forward to this season, and we'll definitely invite you to the tailgate once things get rolling, man.
Yeah, trust me, I already know who I'm not going to see for the tailgate, because he's probably gonna like close off the velvet rope for me or something already.
Come on, Coach. Now, for real. Now, listen, man. Hey, the Marsh is going. You know what's so funny is, Coach, I'm kind of a, what's the word? I have a kind of acquired taste, right? Not a lot of people like me, right? For real. So listen. So I'm always giving A&T a hard time. I'm like, come on, we need to do this. We need this yesterday and all that. And so when we had the coaching vacancy, right, for the offensive coordinator position, I was like, man, it's been 25 days. I was like the lady in 0 Dark 30. I was writing on the board. It's been 15 days since we, so I was kept on, pushing the A&T to make an announcement. And then I went online and I saw Coach Marsh, new offensive coordinator. I thought he was trolling me. I thought he was like, oh, so you guys gonna say Samaj Marsh is the new offensive coordinator? Oh, so when I saw David Marsh, I said, okay, now he's a real guy. So, but, listen, I'm super excited. I can speak for everybody here. We're really in the small time you've been here, we're really impressed with everything you've been putting together. I know you guys are working hard, and just want to wish you best of luck for this season, which we think is gonna, shock a lot of people. I'm buying into it.
Me too. So and so the kids, and hopefully it does. But just all of us Aggies got to stick together, keep moving forward, and get our young people to where they need to go. And then that parking lot's pretty big, and hopefully we're full all season long.
Yes, sir. All right, Coach. Until next time, we'll let you go. And thank you so much for coming back, and we will see you again, definitely.
Thanks, Coach.
Awesome, guys. I'll see you in a few
Appreciate
weeks.
it, Coach.
All right.
Take care.
Coach David Marsh. Doug, how about that?
Good stuff, man. Solid coach, from what I understand, and a little bit of research that I've done. So I'm excited to see what he can do with the guys on our roster. Seems to be a good fit for us. So Aggie fans, get ready. Be patient, but get ready. We'll see what happens here in the fall.
Craig, that's a pretty good way to start a new season, right? Start a new show. The first one of the fall. We got David.
Yeah, and I tell you one thing. He says he likes to. He prefers to run the football. He's got a loaded running back room. We are deep in running back. We are extremely deep in running back. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be really interesting.
I'm gonna tell you, I like the top secret approach to everything, man. You definitely, and I've said this before, Samaj, even though you like to know everything. There's no advantage to letting people know who your starting quarterback's going to be. There's no advantage to let them know what your tendencies are ahead of the time. Let the other team have to figure that out and give them something else to worry about. So that's going to prove to be an advantage for us. And I'm always a fan of a coach with a military background, man. I've seen it. Wonders for us.
Let me give Wake Forest an advantage. Justin Fahmy is going to be a starting quarterback. All right, he's looked that good. He's that impressive. No, I mean that's come on, it's the worst kept secret, right? Justin. And I'm not saying he's going to be the only quarterback they're going to see, but they definitely going to see Justin Fahmy when next a week from next Thursday. I guess.
Craig, what happened last time he guaranteed who was going to be the starter for week 1?
I said Brick
It
Handler.
didn't happen. It didn't happen.
I said Brick Handler. I'm pretty sure I said Brick Handler. I'm pretty sure I picked Brick Handler for that UAB game. So, yeah. But Craig, first of all, before we got another big time guest, right? This is a Hall of Famer. So we know we got big time guests about to bring in here. But before we do that, is there any kind of housekeeping things we need to know about this AAF? Because you guys are getting started to plan your travel schedule. Tell me what's going on in the AAF right now.
Well, we'll be traveling to as far as the travel schedule is concerned. We've got travel. We've got buses that were sold out a month ago. Actually, some of them were sold out 2 months ago when we first put the trips out. Yep. We'll be traveling every football game with the exception of Villanova. So we'll be on the road. We'll be on the road as much as the team will be this year. Fortunately, most of the games are within, driving distance. That's one thing that makes it real easy. With Richmond on a fairly short trip up to Richmond, Central, Campbell, we're going to Townsend State, I believe. I'm trying to remember. I think that's Townsend State's homecoming. I have to double check that, but we've got that. We've got that.
So I think you're right, Craig.
They have. We booked a nice hotel downtown and in a real good area, and so that trip is still open. We still have some seats available for that. If you're interested in going to that, I'll be glad to get that information out to you. We have some spots available for that. We're working on some other things as far as fundraising is concerned, and we'll be as further as we go further into the fall. We'll be bringing that out to you as soon as we work out all the necessary details to it. The AAF is growing immensely over this during the off season. I know as far as our chapter is concerned, we've increased our membership by 102%. So yeah, people want to get on board. The things that are going on at A&T and some of the things that will be going on at A&T as far as athletics is concerned over the next 2 to 4 years are going to be some immense changes. And I think most people are going to be, with this unsteady climate with the NCAA and Division I athletics, I think A&T is very well positioned to make some strides and inroads. We're going to be a factor in a lot of sports this coming season in the CAA. We went through the learning process last year. We made some adjustments. Our recruiting has been really good across the board in all of our sports. And I think A&T fans are really going to be pleased with this football season. And I think it's going to be standing room only in Corbett during basketball season this year.
Hey,
and the women's, yeah.
Don't forget about volleyball too. Volleyball's on.
Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah, volleyball is going to have a breakout year. They have had a superb recruiting year. They were a very young team last year, and they've gotten a lot better. Those girls are super athletic. Some super athletic talent has come into A&T as far as volleyball is concerned. So we're gonna be tight. Track and field recruiting has been excellent. We got a couple more. If we can get a couple that we got hanging out there if we can get I think a lot of people were looking at online today about one name in particular that we're in the hunt. I'm not going to say we are actually in the hunt. So if that's a game changer, if things work out. So we'll see. But track and field is going to be.
You talking about Quincy?
Yeah.
Quincy Wilson,
16-year-old Olympic gold medalist, Quincy Wilson.
And so he was actually like Doug was saying. We were talking before the show that pretty much if you are a track and field, athlete star on the Eastern Seaboard, you've probably competed at A&T at some point in your life. And so somebody resurfaced an old tweet where Quincy Wilson was at A&T for, I guess, track meet. He posed in front of the mural of some of our legendary track field stars. And he says, he's on his way. He's coming. So now that was last year, I believe, or earlier this year. But
Quincy Wilson retweeted his tweet. That was a Quincy Wilson tweet that put that out. So
yeah, that was his. That was his tweet.
Yeah. So he said himself, and so he's kind of the bee's knees right now. But if he's in play. Yeah.
And you're right, Samaj. We said it. If you're a track athlete, man, is there a better facility for you to train at, have access to pretty much whenever you want to go out there and train and not be harassed by whoever's down there? I mean, you can pretty much come and go as you please and be amongst other Olympic athletes who come and train at our facility all the time. We've talked about how we continue to maintain an elite surface for those guys that Mondo surface for them to train on. So if I'm an Olympic athlete or a prospective college track athlete, why not consider A&T? I've already have familiarity there. Some of those guys have set PRs and personal bests there on that track. And as I say, it's always a pretty day in Aggie Land at Aggie Stadium. So I think it's a perfect venue for a guy like that to continue to grow. He's already an Olympic gold medalist. I mean, why not come and experience the best years of college life here on campus and, expose yourself to a wonderful culture and then go back and still have the ability to train for 4 years and get ready for LA.
I'm sold, man. I think it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. But guys, look, this is a fine time to take a minute to not pat ourselves on the back, but to recognize our athletic department and kind of where we stand. I mean, I always say this. Yeah. It's always good not to hear your school in the news and look at how many other schools had groundbreaking and breaking news of whether it was related to the ADs, related to good night.
The money, all that. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot to deal with out there. And I continue to tell you, if you can stay out of the news with stuff, that's a good job. That's the first step. Step number one.
Well, listen, our friends in Tallahassee are going through it right now. I've seen a lot, and trust me, this is kind of like this is like early days of MEAC fans, where like every 30 seconds you have to refresh your computer screen to see what's next, right? Because I mean they and like I say, they're HBCU. That's something near and dear to my heart. I want them to thrive. I want them to survive. I want them to get it right. But God knows there's a train wreck going on right now. Hopefully they get things straight. They are having a new chancellor they're trying to bring in, and he asked everybody who was a senior leadership to submit your resignation. You got two choices. You can leave by the stairs or the window. That's what he told them.
Look at Fred McNair leaving Alcorn State and the hurdles they had down in Alcorn. Look at Texas A&M. I mean, Texas Southern, when they tried to hire Fred McNair and the hurdles they were having with their administration. They were having issues with their contractual obligations to whatever they had going on in Durham. So I mean, it's always something, and I tell people all the time, we're not doing a bad job here in Aggie Land. Just give us some time. So I had to get that out.
We operate in the black, and that's something that very few Division I programs are doing these days. We are operating in the black, one of the few that turn a profit. So
like I told Earl this to his face. I said, you guys need to bang the drum about your accomplishments more. Like, just like one of the criticisms with President Obama, they said he was too humble. He didn't take all the good things he was doing. I said the same thing to Earl. I said, you guys got a lot of stuff going on, but nobody knows about it. Nobody knows about it, right? But we'll talk about that in a second. We'll talk about some more athletic department stuff. But right now, we got a head honcho. He's been in the green room, getting ready to come on here. And I think, Dougie, this guy breaks the record. He is our first 3-time guest. So we had a couple guys been here twice, but now he's the first 3-time guest of the show. And I guess it's only right. He's a Hall of Famer. So let's help me bring out once again the legendary Maseo Bolin. What's going on, Big Mace? What's going on, man?
How you doing? I hope y'all can you hear me so much?
So the first 2 times I saw you we talked to you like in the Lamborghini or the Bugatti. This is you back in the back cave at your house. So now you live more situated. But Brother Mace, thank you so much for coming out, man. I know you got a lot you want to talk about, but first of all, we got to talk about some football. I want to pick your brain.
Sure thing. Can you hear me so much?
I hear you loud and clear.
Okay,
man.
I just wanted to make sure. Okay,
yeah. But we got a new offensive coordinator, David Marsh, and he's also quarterbacks coach. How many quarterbacks coaches or offensive coordinators did you have during your tenure? Did you just only have one when you played here, or did you have multiple?
Yeah, so I was fortunate. My time at A&T, I only had one. And that was John Eder.
John Eder.
So we played under Coach Eder, and he coached Connell, he coached myself, and the guys that came right after me. And then I think that's when Coach Hayes had some changes to the staff, and they brought someone else in. But I was fortunate that I was, I had the chance to work with Coach Eder for 5 years. So no changes that I had to deal with from that perspective. Although we did make some changes from the way we did things. When I came in 91 versus what we looked like in 95. So there were some adjustments that were made. Yeah.
Okay, so people who don't understand that dynamic, what is it like for a starting quarterback? What relationship do you have with the offense coordinator / quarterback coach? Like, do you guys have lunch together? Like, what is the way that you guys are on the same page to make everything work?
So it's got to be when it works the best. There has to be an authentic relationship there built on trust. When you think about the challenges of moving the ball and moving the chains and getting first downs and scoring points, there's a lot of pressure, right? Whether it's on the coordinator, and if that coordinator is the quarterback coach, then that translates down to the quarterback, and you have to make plays, and you all are in that together, right? So when you do well, your coach and your coordinator typically are pretty pleased, and they get credit for what they're doing. And when you struggle a little bit, the good thing is the good coaches are the ones that will support you the most, even when you're struggling. I think there's got to be, and you heard the coach on there talking about having real conversations with kids, and you have to do that in this space, right? In order to make sure you're going to get the best out of your quarterback in that play each week. And so you've got to have honest conversations about the things that they do well. You've got to have conversations about the things that they struggle with. And the fact that you spend so much time in the film room and in meetings. For us, we would work out in the morning. We'd have practice in the afternoon. And then we went straight to meetings and film. So I was around my quarterback coach and coordinator all the time, right? So there's a real close relationship there. And the more time you're together, the more you're on the same page, that translates into success on the field. And it's not always that way. I had my days where I was at odds with some of the things that we were doing because I wanted to throw the ball 500 times a game, and Bill Hayes wanted to run it 5,000 times a game. So I would be lying if I sat here and said like I didn't have some tough days where we had some tough conversations and things were said. And but at the end of the day, you put it together and you got to get out there and try to win games on Saturday, because that's what everybody cares about. And that's what we're there for. So I'm excited, man. I think when you go through a change and you look at what happened last year and quite honestly, how bad things were, like you can only be excited about where we're potentially headed. I will say that there's a lot of hype around preseason and the kids that come in spring, and none of that matters until you get in that first game and you're under the whistle. That's when it's on. So I'm looking forward to it, and we'll see how things go.
Now, look, we opened up on a week from tomorrow, that Thursday night in Wake Forest, and then we come back and we have our home opener against Winston State. So you got FBS in Division II. Do you like that opening? Would you prefer to go Division II first to kind of get everything working and then go out and get the job? How do you like the way the schedules unfold, and what is your feel for it?
So I've seen it done both ways. I mean, when I was there in A&T, we would open the season sometimes with teams that we were 1AA and they were Division II, and it was going to be competitive, but we felt good about, our chances to get out there, especially like offensively and as a quarterback, and Doug understands this. Defenses are clicking on day one because all they do is fly around and knock snot out of people, right? If they line up right, they just got to fly around and make tackles. Offensively, it's timing, it's rhythm, it's tempo. Your chemistry has to be built up, and it's tough to do that at A&T when you're opening up with Wake Forest. But with that also being said, I think, we had in our day where we opened up with an App State, right, which was like a big deal for us. And when you're competing, man, and you're out there and you're trying to be the best of the best, you embrace those opportunities too. So I don't think our guys will go into it if their heads are right, feeling at a disadvantage or anything like that. You understand what's at stake. But I think, as the coach said, things will be vanilla. You want to go out and execute and make sure you're doing the things that you've been working on. And you want to just have some success that helps build confidence, and you'll be sky high coming into Winston-Salem. Although you have to be careful and overlook it, because people make that mistake too. And you don't want to get embarrassed in your backyard on Hall of Fame weekend, by the way. So that's a big deal for us, man. So exciting for the guys.
We got to protect Hall of Fame weekend. And as you alluded to, we do have a new class of Hall of Fame inductees. And I'm going to trust, because I know Myrna Mace, he's always prepared. Do you have the list of the new inductees in front of you? Can you read off the names? There he is. That's my quarterback.
Why did I know Samaj would ask me that? He didn't tell me.
I didn't tell you, but you knew it. You knew it.
Yeah.
So
we have a list of 12.
Okay.
Yeah, we got 12 folks. I'll give you their name and their sport.
Okay.
We do have a selection committee that makes those decisions. We get quite a few applications in each year that we do, which we go every other year for the Hall of Fame. And the process that we use, I can't go into all of the details, but big picture, what I can tell you is that like each sport is represented. So football players look at football, basketball players look at basketball, baseball looks at baseball. That way Maseo is not on the committee picking the volleyball folks, right? Something that I wouldn't know much about. So we do that, and then we come together and meet as a group, and then there's certain criteria and things that have to be met, and we have discussions about it. And that committee's been run by the Feaster for quite some time, and we try to do the right thing into the applicants that we get and get it right most of the time. And I'm proud about the group that we have. So this year, our group is dominated, and there was some upset feelings in our meetings a little bit about it, because it was dominated by basketball and track and field. So my football colleagues were feeling a little bit of a kind of way, but we still did things the right way. So Brittany Taylor James for basketball.
Oh, BTJ. Yes, Beatdowns Unlimited. Yes, sir.
Oh, BTJ. Yeah. Congratulations.
Yes, sir.
Pablo Smith for track and field.
Okay.
Yeah. Nisha Watson, basketball, women's basketball.
Okay.
Stony Polite for football. Stony played back with Alan.
A previous Inside the Valley guest, Stony Polite.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And Stony had been on the wait list for a while, and this year he finally got in. So there's hope for folks that don't get in that first time that they apply. Then we have
so how does that Mace, how does that work? Yeah. So if you're a few votes short and you don't get it that first time, how long do you stay on the voting docket? How's that work?
I think we keep them on for 10. But what we look at is there are people that get denial letters as well. So if there's something and you just don't meet the criteria that we have set right now, you may get a denial letter. But if you're someone who qualifies, like meets the minimum, and there's someone that's a little more competitive than you, right, with a more competitive case that jumps ahead of you, then we still will keep that person that meets the minimum requirement on that list. Because it could be like, if you're a football guy, I know football. If you're a football guy and you're trying to get in, and there's somebody that's an All-American 2 or 3 years, my former roommate, Curtis Burgeon, was a two-time All-American, right? So when he came through, like, if anybody else that was not a two-time All-American, they weren't going to be as competitive. Right. Now, they may meet our minimum requirement, but Kurt's going to get that nod that year. So they may be on the list for the next year or two that comes through. And I would say this to, if there are any of my teammates or guys that played in the 90s and the 80s, and we still get some applications from the 70s, if you meet those requirements, man, apply now, because Broadway boys are coming. And it's going to change everything when Tariq and those kids become eligible. And our dinosaur butts are going to be out of there. So stop waiting. Stop expecting somebody to come to you. Get your applications and put your paperwork in, because this thing's going to change in the next probably 4 to 5 years. And I'm excited about that. So, but let me get back to my list. So I was at I'm sorry about that. Stony Polite for football, Chucky Beckton for basketball. We got, James Miller for basketball.
JJ Miller?
JJ Miller.
Okay.
Jeremy Jones for baseball.
Yes, sir.
Dr.
Jones.
Stephanie Hammond for women's basketball. Coach Tim Abney, women's basketball.
Good up, Tim Abney.
And I'm tickled to death for Bob Beeman for track and field. So everyone knows his Olympic accomplishments. And then we have an honorary.
Stop the press. You talking about the triple jump? Bob Beeman?
Bob Beeman is an Aggie. Yeah. He went to A&T. I think he competed here for 2 years before he transferred. And he ended up winning a number of events in the Olympics. And he applied. And so he's been accepted, and we're excited about that.
Okay, man. I did not know that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we have two more that we have what's called an honorary category. So that's our non-athlete category that we do that for folks that like have a tremendous impact on the university, and they have to make a strong case, particularly towards athletics. So we have Jim Pender, who will be to the Hall of Fame. And one of my favorites of all time is Miss Patsy Frizzell. So Patsy will be going into the Hall of Fame. And she is very deserving of that.
Good deal.
So I feel good about this class, man, and I feel like we got it right. We have our challenges, right? Because we have to make tough decisions, but our commitment is to try to have a fair and balanced process that we use. We are very focused on making sure we're gender equitable. So we do a lot with our women's sports, and we also pay special attention to our non-revenue sports. So if you look back, like, it's literally weird for me because we got one football player that made it in. And again, it was dominated by basketball and track and field, but those folks are deserving. So we did the right thing. We have our banquet coming up on September 5th, which will be at the Grandover this year. And we're expecting over 600 people. It's about to sell out. We've got maybe a couple tables that are left. We have a very nice program where those folks will be recognized. We'll have a live band. We're going to have a beer and wine station. So we're going to have a great time in there this year out at the Grandover on September 5th.
All right. So that's also an event that right before that, right? It's a golf tournament that you guys do every year.
It's the day after.
It's the day after that.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about this Hall of Fame golf tournament. It gets bigger in scale every year. And every year, everybody's talking about the who's who that participated. You always see stuff on social media of, people doing a foursome with this guy. And is Coach Hayes going to be participating again this year? He's still in.
Coach Hayes will be there.
Okay.
I spoke with Coach Hayes today, and he's still Bill Hayes, but he will absolutely be there. And before I say anything about that, Samaj, I just got to take a minute to say to you and to Craig and to Doug, man, I can't thank you guys enough because we did have a successful tournament last year, but there were specific areas where we were a little bit slow, and it picked up after I came on your show. And it would not have been a success for us had I not come on this show and talked to you guys, and you all supported us right there on the show. And before I talk about anything with the golf tournament, I just got to say thank you to you, and you know how I feel about you, and I'm so grateful. We would not have had the success that we had last year without coming on this show. And your supporters, your listeners, we started to see the impact that night and over the next couple of weeks. And they helped us to reach some of the goals that we had. So, man, I'm grateful. And I just want to say that before I say anything else about the tournament.
Now, thank you for allowing us to even participate and be a part of it, because this is really the premier kind of kickoff event of the fall. You know, it's kind of like one of the things, football season, when that golf tournament comes around, and then, like you say, yourself and other Hall of Famers and all these former coaches and administrators are all around in one room, and then a regular person, just a lay person, can just come in there, get become a donate to the thing, and maybe even get your business sponsored and have your little sign on the holes. So it's such a great opportunity for the community to kind of interact with these great Hall of Famers. And I gotta still figure out the logistics with Craig and Doug, but we're gonna try to even maybe participate at that event in some capacity. We'll kind of tease that for right now.
Hey man, I'm gonna be hitting them. I don't know what y'all talking about.
I've been begging y'all to do that. I've been begging.
I'm gonna be playing, man.
Wait, Doug, you can be mic'd
catch
up.
Me at the turn, man.
Listen, we can go live. And you can be mic'd up on each hole. You can be like a correspondent.
I'll already be there. Let's do it, man. Let's do it. It's a great year for it.
So look, man. So paint the picture, man. Because right now, we haven't really opened the floodgates and told everybody in Blue Death Nation to where to go to be a part of it. But first of all, let's paint the picture of what this tournament is going to be about. Just give us a synopsis.
So I think the first thing people need to understand is that this is a revenue stream for the Hall of Fame. So we have $1 million endowment. That $1 million endowment is used to fund scholarships for student athletes, primarily in the supplementary space, right? And we do a lot to help out those student athletes in non-revenue generating sports. With all of the changes that are going on with college athletics, the NIL changes, there's an Austin fund that's created at A&T that's being used to help from a recruiting perspective. Our athletic director, we've been in a number of talks. And so now our Hall of Fame is not only, we're still responsible for managing our endowment, but we're also looking for additional ways to create revenue where that money goes directly to the athletic department to help them with recruiting athletes so that A&T can be competitive. So this golf tournament and our banquet is like a really, really big deal for us because these are the two revenue streams that we have right now. We're working on creating some other avenues, but basically what we voted on as a body, and we met multiple times and we talked about it, we want to leave our endowment where it is because that's what it was intended for, the Graber endowment. But what we will do now is the money that we make from our other entities, that money will be held in our account and then moved over to the athletic department to help support them in the areas that they see the greatest need. So as I said last year when we came on here, if you're registering to play in the tournament, if you're doing a whole sponsorship, we have corporate sponsorships that we are taking. And so any of those monies that we collect, that 100% of that money is going back into A&T athletics. We don't do any funky stuff with the money, and I can assure you of that. And so what we have and what it will look like that day, and I think it's important for people to know, we're trying to get to the point where eventually this becomes an event and not a golf tournament. That's the big picture kind of vision of it. But so we've got the golf, we've got the great meal afterwards when we finish playing. But the other thing that we're growing is our what we call vendor village. So we have a number of businesses that come out and set up shop, and they're selling and marketing their products to 130 golfers, 50 Hall of Famers walking around, some other fans and people that come out. So they're marketing their products directly to folks, and we charge them a small fee that goes in the same pot with everything else. And those people do really well coming out there. And we've had cigar vendors, we've had winemakers, we've had the embroidery guys, we've had caterers. So we've had a number of different businesses, insurance and financial folks, to come out and set up because they've got direct access to our golfers, and our golfers appreciate that. So we've been begging people, to come out and hang out with us that day. We're going to have a comedian walking around telling jokes once we finish playing. So we're going to have a good time out there.
Let me guess. It's going to be probably somebody from the A&T Fan Forum. One of the clowns on my site is going to be the comedian.
I can't give his name out yet. We'll give it out pretty soon.
That's a whole cast of characters. There's about 4 or 5 guys who can fit that bill. But go ahead, man. Go ahead. I digress.
So we're just looking to have a great time, and our slots are still open, but they're filling up fast. And we actually have an early bird deadline that ends on Friday. So if people are interested in playing, I'll give you all the information, Samaj, and they can go on and register. And there's an increase to the price after Friday, but our goal is to fill it up with 30 teams. We had 30 teams last year. That's 120 golfers. So that's our goal, to make sure we hit that number, and we're getting close. What I need from you, and where you all helped me tremendously last year, is I set an aggressive goal in my first year to get 50 hole sponsors. So hole sponsorships are basically profit for us with the golf tournament. It doesn't really go to pay any of our expenses. So it's important that we capture and hit that number. So when I came on your show, Samaj, I went back and looked. I think we were at 9 hole sponsors. And I was ticked off. I'm not going to say what I was going to say. I was ticked off, right? And after we were on your show, we had some people, support us that night while we were on the show. And then about a week and a half later, we were up to 28 hole sponsors. Wow. My goal was to hit 50, and we ended up with 77 hole sponsors.
Oh, my man. So listen, that's awesome. I'm excited. So listen, that's what Blue Death Valley is all about, man. We are here to propel things forward, and we got a weird way of doing it. Sometimes we kind of chastise and we point out things that got to get fixed, quick, fast, in a hurry, but we also want to celebrate and we want to promote things that the people need to know about. This is one thing that people need to know about. This is going to be the big event of the year. Every year moving forward, it's going to be a gala, because you guys are not small potatoes, right? You guys know you're rubbing elbows with the elite, and you are the elite, and you have a great vision. You're kind of like me. I don't want to just have a regular website. I want to have a glorious website. You guys want to have a glorious event. And all it takes is a little bit of support from, the community and the fan base. And so we're going to rally behind you again. I put a link in the chat. Hopefully, if you guys in the chat can read that, click on that link and see if that's the right one. Because I didn't get a chance to do it right now, but I'm going to put all the information in the description of this video once we get off air. Of course, I'm going to have a link on the front page of BlueDeathValley.com where you click on it, go straight to the donation button, the sign up button, and we're having the fan forum. So we're going to whatever numbers that we reached last year that you think came from our site, I want to double that. So that's the challenge. And so real quick, so I got you here, and I got to get my whole sponsorship. Last year we did a challenge. Me and you, we were on the phone. We were kind of preparing for this show. I took out my credit card and I said, let me see how fast I can sign up, right? I think, I don't know what it was. It was probably like a minute, 2 minutes. But
right at 2 minutes.
It was right at 2 minutes. But I don't want to beat my own record, okay? So Doug, Craig, y'all throw some questions at him. I'm going to go right now. Now, do you have, Mace, do you have the means to see if a donation comes through? Can you check it in real time?
I don't know if I can see it in real time, but what we can do is once you finish, let me know. And if something's not right, I'll make sure I come back before you guys end the show.
Okay, all right. So I'm out. So right now, Craig, Mason, synchronize your watch. I want you to see what time it is, because I'm about to do the Hall of Fame tournaments sponsorship challenge, and I got bad eyesight, so it's gonna take me around.
T-minus.
All right, so I'm about to go 5, 4, and when I do this, so they know dead air, y'all ask me some questions. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I'm going. All right, go ahead.
Well, listen, I'm not gonna ask Maseo any questions. I'm just gonna do my promo for the golf tournament. Everybody knows a good golf tournament is one that you show up to and leave with more stuff than you came with. And one thing about that tournament, aside from seeing all the Aggie greats and rubbing elbows and having those conversations, is the gift bag from that tournament. You got to go put your gift bag up in the car before the tournament starts, because there's not room for 2 gift bags on the back of the car. I mean, you guys loaded up all the food you can eat. Maceo spoke about the wonderful vendors that were out there. I mean, I think I walked away with the cigars, the alcoholic-free beverage, everything you can name or want was there. And then the raffles and the giveaways that took place at the end, man. If you didn't stay to the end of that tournament to receive your gift or your door prize, I mean, that took almost as long as the golf tournament. And so, I mean, guys walked away with golf clubs, golf bags, shoes, you name it. So I don't know what you guys do to raise all that money or to raise all those gifts for donations, man. But obviously, you got a good thing going, man, and it's going to continue to grow year to year. And I'm excited to see the growth it's going to make this year. We should be one up, because I know I at least sponsored one hole for my 2003 team, Samaj. So that's not going to show up on this end of the bargain, but I'm excited to see what Blue Def Nation is going to do here.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Doug. Appreciate it. Look forward to having you back out there.
I'm going to try to keep it in the short stuff.
Maceo, Maceo, I want to ask you about the banquet coming up on that Thursday night, and that's going to be held out at Grandover.
Yes, sir. We'll be at the Grandover. I don't know the name of the ballroom, but I think we're actually taking up 2 ballrooms to get the 600 people in there. We've been having it on campus, and the space was a little limited. So this is really good that we were able to negotiate with those folks and get it over there at the Grandover. We're going to have, a program that we do. We'll have some speakers. The AAF will be there to represent and share with us that evening. We're going to have a live band that will be there playing. And then, I mean, it's really about those inductees, right? And as president, I have to kind of get my thoughts together on, my comments and things. And it's always so emotional because it's a big, big deal for those folks when they come through. And it's about them that night. So I'm looking forward to it, man. It's going to be good. I think we're going to have a really strong turnout. And I'm excited that we're able to do that at the Grandover. We're going to have the press conference at the Grandover at 12 noon, and then we'll have the banquet that night. And then the golf tournament will be on Saturday.
Hey, I'm done. So
it took you 2.5 minutes, Samaj. You were a little slower this year.
No, I wasn't. I was screaming. Somehow I got kicked out, and I was trying to get back in. So give me 10 seconds. I want a 10-second deduction off that.
We give 15 seconds.
Oh man! So I'm in, and I got $100 whole sponsorship, and I'm already signed up for to help out this tournament. It was that easy, and I'm old. My eyesight's messed. I had to read the zip code on my credit card about 15 times. But listen. It's super easy. It's for a good cause, and I got one have the link everywhere. Everybody can take the challenge. I did 2.5 minutes. I think y'all can beat me. And like I say, man, this is gonna get so much. This is one of them deals where you're gonna look back and you're gonna say, man, in 2024 was awesome, but 2026, 27, look at it now. It's only gonna get bigger and better.
Yeah. Hey, Samaj. So this is important that I plug this. So when you need to do this, and anyone else that purchases a whole sponsorship. So essentially, you purchase a whole sponsorship. We get a sign, and we put your information on it. So if you want to do it, if I want to do the Bolin family, if you want to do it in honor of a fallen teammate or a fallen comrade, if you want to put your business name on there or your kids' names, you send us an email at ncatsuhallofame@gmail.com. ncatsuhallofame@gmail.com, and you email us what you want on the sign. And if you have a specific hole that you want your sign placed on. So me, I'm quarterback number 9. If I want my hole on my sign on the 9th hole, I can put that in the email and we'll honor that request for you. So when you pay for it you pay for the hole sponsorship on Eventbrite, and he'll post the link. But if you go to the Eventbrite site, make sure you put Greensboro for the location, and then put North Carolina A&T Hall of Fame Golf Tournament. It'll come up. And once you pay for your whole sponsorship, then make sure you email us what you want on your sign. And there's also different levels of sponsorship that you'll see on the website if there's anyone that wants to do any, give us any additional support. But yeah, Samaj, it's that quick and easy, man. And I'm grateful for you. And you text or email us what you want, and we'll make sure that we get that on the sign and taken care of for you.
Can I have someone say fix War Memorial?
I was about to say that. I already know what he's going to say on there.
I
was hoping he wouldn't, Craig.
There's 3 words. Fix War Memorial. That's all I want.
Craig, what season is it, Craig? It's football season, Craig. We're gonna go with football right now.
It's football season, man.
Oh man, I love you guys. Hey, so listen, so May, we have to get out of here because it's been a long night. I think we got all the essential information about this tournament, and we're gonna. If you have any other questions, just come to BlueDeathValley.com, and I promise you, between now and first thing in the morning, me and May's gonna get it figured out. We're gonna have all the information for you in an easy to go to link to get all that data. And guys, this is the time where we gotta rally the troops, because I think this is going to be a really good season, man. I'm telling you, I got a good feeling. And if you go to practice, I don't know how many guys have had a chance to actually sneak by practice in the morning. They usually go from like 9 to 11. But I tell you, man, that's a different vibe. It's palpable. I don't know what it is, and hopefully it's just not fool's gold. I think it's legit. Are you on the fence, Mace? Do you feel any? What's your gut reaction? You think this can be a turnaround?
So I saw them in the spring, and the spring game is tough to kind of determine because it's vanilla even at the spring game. But what I did appreciate is they look different physically. They looked a little bit different than we have in the past up front on the offensive side of the ball. And that goes a long way. Just those kids out there just looked a little bit different. So I'm interested. I mean, I have a relationship with Coach Brown. He's been very accessible. I was actually a part of the interview process. So I've seen him from the very beginning and some of the things that he talked about. I think he knew the challenges that he was going to be facing. And they are taking those steps. And I think in all fairness, man, you got to give them an opportunity to get in and get their feet wet and start to get the kind of kids that they want to get. And we're taking those steps. They got to get out there and win football games too. We got to beat Winston and we got to beat Central, because I'm tired of my boys from Central, man. They are giving me hell. And I am sick and tired of them, man.
They're chirping.
I'm still mad. I'm still mad at I won't go too deep, but I just felt like Trey Oliver made some comments that he didn't need to make when they beat us. It's one thing when you beat somebody, you congratulate the other team, you appreciate your guys, and you move on to the next opponent. But it's so bitter that things were said, and so they have an advantage because they've got folks who played in it, who've been in it, who understand it, and we've got a staff coming from the CAA that's got to get their feet wet with it, right? Yeah. But we got to turn it around, man. That's what they're brought in here for, and the only thing we can do is support those guys. Some of us alumni football players will be going back to watch practice on Saturday, and then we're doing a tailgate afterwards. And it's all about supporting those kids, man, and wishing them well. And so we'll see.
Hey, Doug, do you want to piggyback? Doug, you want to piggyback on that? Because he kind of alluded to the alumni picnic you're going to have. It's kind of just players only. But you want to talk a little bit about that and what y'all?
It's just it's actually it's the third time we've done it, but I guess it's considered the second annual alumni tailgate, ultimate tailgate reunion that we put together, and it's just an opportunity for us to fellowship former players and current players along with the staff, and just express our support for those guys and pass down some of those traditions and some of those stories that we hold near and true to our heart. But just give us opportunity to be in the same space, same time, and continue to foster that tradition that we have in place. and build and continue to build that tradition as well. So we hope that it is a catalyst to push us back to our winning ways. And of course, this program is loaded with winners. So just being in that space and having that opportunity to share and be around those guys, we know what kind of impact that has on them. And for our program, it's an opportunity to directly support those guys as well. Anytime you share a meal with those guys, I'm big on sharing meals and tailgating, but to share those meals and actually put some resources directly back into the program, similar to what Maseo was talking about with the Hall of Fame Golf Tournament. It's just another avenue, another opportunity to show our support. So there will be some funds that we're kind of collecting and raising for that too. And whatever we pull together, we use up, and what we don't use, we make sure it goes straight to our athletic department and our football team. So, the support structures are in place, and we're thankful and grateful to have leadership like guys like Maseo that continue to beat the drum and still have that fire in their chest and their heart that it bothers them when that other school, that rival school, is trying to outdo us. So it takes guys like that, and that's how you can keep some continuity going with your program and make sure that pride and that fire is still burning. So thanks again, Maseo, for what you do, and we got some sponsors rolling in. So let's keep this thing rolling, man.
Thank you, Harold. Yeah. Just saw one come through.
Yeah, he's the first. He's early bird. He said he's going to do it for his late father. Hall of Famer 1950. So that's awesome, man. And
thank you for that.
Programming alert. This is about to be high school football season, so I'm gonna be kind of locked down on Friday night. And then my youngest son, he's a travel baseball, fall baseball guy. So next Wednesday, we're gonna have to move our date. We probably have our show. Hopefully it works out for Doug Prigg. I ain't told me yet. We're gonna try to move it to Thursday, and we're looking to get a couple of actual football players, current players, to join us. So next week we're probably going to be doing this Thursday, and hopefully we get back to our Wednesday normal date after that. So Saturday we got a scrimmage, and you're gonna have the alumni picnic with the football staff. The following week, next Saturday. Not this Saturday, but next Saturday is the Fun Fest. That's going to be the big kind of introduction to all the fall sports, not just football, but volleyball and what else we got? Cheerleaders. And Craig, guess what? I don't know who in Congress worked this out, but we got the blue and gold marching machine is going to perform next Saturday at the Fun Fest event. So
man, they're there every year for the Fun Fest. Yeah, just make the spring game. I
so many moving parts, and I don't want to assume anything, right? So we got some synergy. That's the word. We got some early season synergy with the BGMM going to participate in a football event, and that's going to be cool. So make sure all you band fans come out for that next Saturday. Of course, this golf tournament, we're going to be promoting this nonstop.
Can I add one more thing, Samaj?
Sure.
If there are any Bill Hayes fans out there, Coach Hayes will be honored. A few of us will be on the field with him for the Wake Forest game. As you know, Coach Hayes is the first Black coach in the assistant coach in the ACC, and he started at Wake Forest. So they're going to give him special recognition for that game. There's a reception prior to, and then he'll be recognized down on the field. So for those Bill Hayes fans and those guys of us that play for him and that know him around our program, he's one of the only former coaches that you visibly see all the time around the program, and he loves A&T. So any support we can give him, that's always appreciated on his end.
Definitely. So we'll make a note to promote that also. Yep. Craig, give us the last word and get us out of here.
Hey, we're, like I said, you're 2 weeks away. You're talking about Fun Fest coming up next weekend. I think that's Sunday, the day after, will be the AAF will be the local chapter, the Greensboro chapter AAF will do its annual welcome back picnic for the student athletes on campus, which we hold every year out at A&T Farm. And it's not open to the public, but we'll be out there taking care and feeding and introducing ourselves and getting familiar with the 350 plus athletes that are on our campus to welcome them back to a new school year.
Gotcha. Okay. Also, little shameless plug. We got some new Blue Death gear for sale on our site. You go to the homepage or the fan forum, whatever, you see a link. You know, get this 1891 cap. Can't find nowhere else but Blue Death Valley. So all your stuff for the fall you're trying to get for your stadium wears, check us out. All proceeds go to Doug Brown's middle school fund for a DJ and the honeydew stuff for Craig. So we split three ways, man. You know, so if you want to support this, show, go buy some, check out some of the gear we got in our online store.
Yeah.
We can get proceeds, pay the light bill, and all that kind of stuff. But it's been a great show, been a great night. Got the Hall of Famer Maseo Bolin still with us. We had a new offensive coordinator and quarterback coach, David Marsh, my cousin. Distant cousin. No, probably not that distant, man. You know, but we are going to we're going to put a bow on this one. Thank you all the fans who demanded this. You know, Craig was like, I don't want to do it. The these fans are fair weather. I'm like, come on, Craig, we got to bring back. They want us, man. And so
yeah,
well. So we got the band back together, and
what Craig said, let's do it. It's time to get this bus fired up. I knew it was time to go.
That's it.
Craig said, let's get this bus cranked up and rolling. That means it's time to
do it, man. I'll tell you. So that's all we need to hear, man. But until next time, for Maseo Bolin, Hall of Fame quarterback Maseo Bolin, Doug Brown, Mr. President Craig Turner, I am Samaj Marsh. This has been Inside the Valley. We'll see you next week. Peace. Aggie Pride.
Aggie Pride.
Aggie Pride.